Grade one action keeps rolling at Saratoga Racecourse, where an all grade one pick four will culminate in the Travers Stakes. And it starts with another 3-year-old male race in the Jerkens going 7 furlongs, third consecutive grade one going 7 panels, a lot of interesting races, and maybe none more than this one, Scott Shapiro, who joins me from Twin Spires, because we have Jackie's Warrior and Life is Good butting heads, and certainly seems like these two stand tallest here.
Yeah, I think this is the coolest race from a fan type perspective amongst the 6 races, with the star power of Jackie's Warrior and Life is Good in here. And Following C is no slouch as well, despite the poor effort in the Haskell, now coming back, returning to 1 turn. Tough race to find value in, and I'm curious if you were able to unveil any.
No, I think it's similar to what I said in the forego. I think you just got to plant your flag somewhere. So many people are going to be looking to get through too deep, which probably actually makes Following C worth using, but he's the third one. And unlike the forego, it's really hard for me to make a case for any of the other 3 who are going to be clear long shots, and maybe a takeout reducer if people just try to go deep because they're narrow elsewhere. But if you buy the 108 that Following C got in the second start at Belmont, I guess he's a must use against the other 2. But this is a pretty big class test coming off one that he failed in the Haskell. I actually landed on Life is Good. If he runs back to what we've seen for new trainer Todd Pletcher, I do think he's better than Jackie's Warrior.
Yeah, and he certainly has room to improve because we haven't seen him since early on in his 3-year-old campaign. I'm expecting him to be keen off the bench. He's already a tough horse to control. He's so fast early. He does draw favorably to the outside, but it's going to be his biggest test ever. He's made loose and lonely leads in all 3 of his lifetime tries and done so very easily. Now off the bench, likely to be keen, like I said, and running into Jackie's Warrior amongst some other horses. I mean, you have Drain the Clock, who's shown a lot of early speed. I'm not interested. I think he ran his biggest race he'll ever run in the Woody Stevens and might never be the same. But Jackie's Warrior, for me, I just think he's got the seasoning. He's got the 6 wins and 9 lifetime starts. The 3 losses, 1 came to drain the clock when he absolutely botched the break, and the other 2 came at 2 turns, which is just not his game. He ran well in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, I thought, to finish where he did against the flow. But back to 1 turn, I think it's just too much horse and asking too much of Life is Good, who I do expect to run well, but cutting back to 1 turn off the bench, this is a tough challenge.
Yeah, it's a big ask for sure. Following C, Sire Unhappy did win this race. I'm sort of, even I picked Life is Good, but starting to talk myself into making sure Following C on some tickets. In that allowance win at Belmont, I mentioned with the 108 speed rating, he did get a 94 late pace rating as well, albeit against very different competition. But maybe he's the one that picks up the pieces if the other 2 go at it. Really interesting piece of the puzzle in terms of the multi-race wagers. I know I don't want to use all 3 unless I come up with something crazy with like Doubly Blessed as a single and, can use all the logicals on a cheap ticket. But are you singling Jackie's Warrior?
I've got to use Following C, and I think his best chance, not other than how he's a very fast horse in his own right, is if he can find a way to relax early off of the pace of Life is Good and Jackie's Warrior, and maybe drain the clock, who probably isn't fast enough from the rail, but I don't know what other choice they have other than to try to go. Maybe Following C coming out of that 9 furlong event at Monmouth will have a little bit of the speed taken away from him. You often see that the case when horses cut back from a route to a sprint, which is his best chance. He's not going to be able to battle with Jackie's Warrior and Life is Good and come out on top. But I do think he's an intriguing option. As you mentioned, a lot of gamblers likely to go with just 2 horses in here with the 2 favorites, Jackie's Warrior and Life is Good.
All right. Well, it's certainly a compelling race, and hopefully won't rue tossing one of the 3 should a long shot come in elsewhere. This definitely seems like a sequence made for playing around with multiple tickets, as I like to do. But the Jerkens is a good one. Jackie's Warrior for Scott. Life is Good for me. I have a feeling one of us will get our bet back at Twin Spires. Make sure you opt into that offer. It's on all 13 races. Good luck.